Good morning, my dear students. Today is 2nd of April 2020 and I am Sandeep Rai, the English teacher for class 12. My dear students, today we are going to do the first chapter of your main reader book, that is Flamingo, chapter number 1, The Last Lesson, written by the great French writer Alphonso Daudet. Okay. Now, my dear students, first of all, I would straight away take you to the order of events. Okay. This is an entire section which I prepared for you so that during your exam, you can quickly revise the entire chapter. So this section is purely for your reading. I will straight away take you to the summary section of the chapter. Now, my dear students, first of all, you need to understand the backdrop of the chapter. The backdrop is 1890s Franco-Prussian War, okay, which took place between France and Prussia. Now, Prussian soldiers, they had captured two bordering states of France. They were Alsace and Lorraine. Remember the names of these two states, Alsace and Lorraine, especially the spelling of the word Lorraine. These two states were captured, and a lot of new rules were imposed upon them by the new government that was of Prussia, and a lot of bans were also imposed. So one such ban was the ban on the learning and teaching of French. Imagine, in France, the people were not allowed to teach French and they were not allowed to learn French. Now, if this kind of ban is imposed upon a country's people, how they would be affected by it. Now, the new ban was displayed on a bulletin board in front of the town hall, and people, they gathered there to read the order. Now, they were very much shocked and sad. Obviously, they will be shocked and sad, reason being they themselves were not allowed to study French language. They had to accept the ban under the great resentment. They did not want to accept it, but again, they did not have any choice. They saw how much they loved their mother tongue. They saw how important their language was, and they did not want to lose it. They discussed their fate, shared their bitterness, and felt helpless because they did not have any choice. Now, among all those people, there is the lead character, that is Franz. Okay. Franz is a boy who's coming towards school, and all like as usual, he's late for his school. He's welcoming, he saw, or he even thought of skipping the school on the day of last lesson, though he's not aware that today is going to be the last lesson, but he thinks of skipping the school, and there is a reason. The reason is that today in school there was a test of participles. Participle is a grammar topic. Okay, there was a test today, and he did not know even P of participle, so that's why he wanted to skip the school on the day of last lesson. And then he saw the bright sunshine, nice weather, Prussian soldiers. He saw that they were drilling at the back of sawmill, so that entire sight was so tempting that he felt like skipping, but then he controlled his emotions and he decided to go to school. When he reached in front of the town hall, he was almost like late. Then blacksmith means among all the people who were reading the order from the board, blacksmith Mr. Washer was also there. He saw Franz that he's going towards the school. So he told him not to go in such a hurry. Okay. As see, he has already read the order. So he's aware that what is the new order. But Franz, he hasn't read it. Reason being, he is illiterate. So he has not read it. So Franz did not pay attention to his words and he hurried towards his school. But when he reached school, he saw that entire school was all silent as Sunday morning school. I'm writing this phrase, this you need to use in your long answers. It was as silent as Sunday morning. He even thought that was it Sunday? But no, my dear, it wasn't Sunday. He waited for the noise from the school to get in without being noticed. He thought that if there would be a lot of noise, a lot of commotion, students will be roaming here and there, so he'll be able to sneak in the classroom without coming into the notice of teacher. But today was different. Today there was no sound coming from any of the class. So finally he had to go in front of everyone. And to his amazement, he was not scolded by his teacher, M. Hamel. M. Hamel, who was always so strict, a cranky teacher, he did not scold him at all. He even expressed his regret of having begun the class without friends and asked friends to come and take his seat. Now the class was all different today. Two reasons. First, M. Hamel was dressed differently. That you need to find out yourself from the book, that exactly how he was dressed. Okay, that you need to find out yourself after reading the chapter, that how he was dressed. This is the first reason the class was different. And second reason is given there, that there were some old villagers sitting in the back benches. This you need to understand. Two reasons I've already given to you. First is that the teacher was dressed up differently, that you need to find out by studying the chapter from NCERT. Second reason I've given to you here, that the benches which were always empty at the back of the classroom, on those benches old villagers were sitting. Now my dear students, a short question comes in examination from here, which I'll be giving you in the assignment, which will be given to you at the end of this chapter. In that assignment I'll mention this question. Okay, answer I'm discussing here, that the old villagers were occupying the back benches for two reasons. First was that they were there. Okay, they were there, let me clear the screen. They were there to express their respect. Okay, respect for their mother tongue which was not theirs any longer. What does it mean? The language, now they are not supposed to speak their own language, my dear student. They are not allowed to learn their own language. And second reason was that they were there to show their feeling of gratitude. Okay, this you need to understand. They were there to show their gratitude towards the teachers' 40 years of selfless service. Then the class started, and M. Hamel announced that it was their last French lesson because Prussians had banned French in the schools and introduced German instead. This is the order which was imposed, or which was shot by Germans on the two states of France, which were Alsace and Lorraine. Now all the words spoken by the teacher, they were very shocking for France. In fact, in NCERT book, my dear students, it is written that these words were like thunderclap. Okay, so in board a short question comes from here, that what was a thunderclap? What was thunderclap for France? So you need to write down that the announcement made by the teacher M. Hamel about the last French lesson, and then that all the teachers of French will be leaving the town of Alsace and Lorraine, and they will be replaced by new German teachers who will be coming tomorrow, and no one is allowed to study or teach French language. So these words were thunderclap for France. Only then he understood why the people had been staring at bulletin board. He too felt his love for French returning. He hated the Prussians for every reason, and he even began to love his teacher, the same teacher who always he felt dreaded from the teacher. But today, the classrooms, those books, those lessons, he felt like a long lost friend. He felt sorry for not learning his lessons, for postponing his study, and for not realizing the greatness of his language. Now, after this, M. Hamel went on to speak a lot about the importance of French language. First thing he did was blaming French parents. Okay, he blamed two people for the bad state of language in Alsace and Lorraine. First were the parents. He blamed them because parents at many occasions they did not send their kids to school. Okay, they did not send them. Reason being, they wanted to send them to work in farms, work in mills to earn some extra money. And then he blamed himself also. Why? Because he thought he was not a committed teacher. Reason being, given in NCERT, that at many occasions, whenever he wanted to go for fishing, he gave off to class. He gave early offs to his students Sometimes he even sent them to water the garden, water the plants in front of the school, and in this way he ignored the teaching at many occasions. So he blamed himself. And then M. Hamel said that language is very important for a nation because the unity of a nation mostly depended on its language, and no aggression can take such a united nation its slave. My dear students, here I want to give you one example. Okay, let me clear the screen. During Indian independence struggle, there was one slogan. There was one slogan which united the entire country. This you need to find out yourself. No matter the people were from Jammu Kashmir or they were from Kanyakumari, there was one slogan which united the entire nation. We all know India is a country rich in diversity. There are so many different languages being spoken, but that one language, one slogan was used by all the people right from Jammu Kashmir till Kanyakumari. So that slogan you need to find out and tell me when we will open the school. Okay? Then let's move further. There was a complete silence in the class. Even the children did not make a sound. They were all sad. They were in fact crying. Franz heard pigeons cooing on the roof of the classroom and wondered if the Prussians would impose a ban on their cooing language the next day. My dear students, this entire section I'm circling here. In fact, let me underline it with a different color so that you remember it. Okay. Franz heard pigeons cooing on the roof of the classroom and wondered if the Prussians would impose a ban on their cooing language the next day. This question comes as a 6 marker in your board examination. The question is, exactly this statement will be given, and then the question will be why Franz made this statement. And the answer is very simple, dear students. You tell me, can pigeons do something else other than cooing? Can pigeons do something else other than cooing? No. Simple answer is no, because that's their mother tongue. That's what they do. Exactly in the same way, do you think that people of France, okay, the French language is exactly the mother tongue of the French people, and no one can take it away from them. No one. So this is how he compared himself with those pigeons, and he even showed that very strong emotion that these Prussians would never be able to take that mother tongue from the people of France. He even heard an old man, Hauser, reading the lessons along with the children, and even he too was crying. The old man sitting at the backbench, he was reading the chapter from his book and he had tears in his eyes. See how emotional the entire class was on the day of last lesson. Now it was almost noontime, and Prussian soldiers came marching by the school. Their sound frightened everyone. Everyone got scared. If they noticed the class was still progressing, they would have arrested M. Hamel. But M. Hamel showed amazing patriotism. He even wanted to shout loudly in the classroom that long live France, but he couldn't. 2 reasons. First was, either he was overwhelmed by emotions, or he was scared of the Prussians. But what he did, he went to the blackboard and wrote as big as he could, Vive la France. That means long live France, and he gestured the class that class is dismissed. You all can go, and entire class got dispersed. Now my dear students, this is the end of the chapter. Now after this I have given you few examination based questions for all of you. Okay, these all questions are few questions we will discuss. First is, why Franz was afraid of going to school that day. This you will be very easily answering, because this one question I've discussed right in the beginning of the video, that why he was afraid of going to school. Because my dear students, there was a test on participles, and Franz did not know a single word of it, so he was not feeling like to go to school that day. Simple, there was a test and did not know even the P of participle, and he knew how cranky, how strict the teacher is, so he might even get a scolding or a physical punishment, so he did not want to go to school. Let's move on to next question. Next question is, what unusual change did Franz notice in school that day? Now changes are many. One, I've already told you about the teacher. Okay. Second is how the classroom looked different. What was the difference in the classroom today? That you need to find out all your own. Answer is given, but again you need to find out the answers of these questions on your own. So now, my dear students, all these questions are already there and you need to pay attention to all these questions. Okay, but the main thing is that you need to read the chapter at home. Then only you'll be able to understand the entire concept of the chapter, because in summary we cannot do each and everything. So entire chapter you need to read from NCERT, and you need to prepare all the questions which will be given in the assignment, which will be given to you separately, and you need to prepare all the questions very well. Those questions will be short answer type questions and as well as long answer type questions that you need to do on your own. So now, this is a request to all the parents that please keep attention on your students, on your kids, that they are utilizing their entire time constructively. They are studying properly at home, they are staying indoors. Okay, my dear students, this is the end of this video. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.